Welcome, welcome, welcome. What's up, JB? Doing a little weathering of the Scout Trooper helmet that I've been working on. It's a standard black acrylic wash to start things off. What is happening with you today? I decided to make this a really dirty helmet. So this is not anything I'm going to go for any kind of submission on or any kind of 501st approval. So I can kind of go whatever I want to with this little helmet. And yeah, Scout Troopers, oh dude, this was my favorite armor by far. Of course, we always called it the Biker Trooper. Back in the day, but yeah, that and the fact that they got a speeder bike, you know, that was, speeder bike was such a cool vehicle, a cool addition. You know, I loved the Scout Trooper. Probably my second favorite helmet and armor in the Star Wars universe. So yeah, what I'm doing here is just a regular old acrylic black wash. It's acrylic paint mixed with water, kind of dab it all over the helmet, and then you come back on it and dry it off with a paper towel. Simple process, very effective. Very, very effective. So who else has joined me? Talk to me, peoples. Wipe it, you dab it, you rub it. If it gets a little bit too much, then you can always take it off with some rubbing alcohol, take it down some. Yeah, definitely my favorite Imperial Trooper too. And my favorite armor by far is Phase 2 Realistic Clone Trooper armor. There's just something badass about that. And then my second would be Scout Trooper. Third is probably a Sandy. I love the Sand Trooper armor. It's just a cool armor. Yeah, so this is the first step of what I do when I'm weathering. You know, you get this kind of on all the pieces. And then you come back in and I'll start to do some blaster marks and some other fun stuff. Maybe I'm going to do some dirt and some dust on this one as well. Give it a really dirty feeling. And they go kind of Mando style, which is really dusty. I may go that, I'm not sure. Talk to me, people. Anything you want to know about this weathering process and what I'm doing, let me know. Put a question in the comments. And I will absolutely answer what I can. So yeah, I haven't, there's a couple little places in here that aren't really, the paint, you know, maybe I could have done a better job painting, but this is something just for me personally. Again, not anything I'm going to submit. It's not something for a client or a commission that I did, so I know what I'm all right with, and I'm all right with the mistakes on this. All right, so this is after a couple washes. So you've got the nice clean, and then you've got the dirty. You can see how it kind of catches some dirt in places. Usually I'll knock all this out in an hour, hour and a half maybe. You know, I do this. I'll take time because I'll sit on it. Once I get kind of caught up in the minutia of this, it's kind of hard to see what you're doing. So a lot of times I'll do this, put it away for an hour or so, come back, look at it, decide if I want to add more or take away more, or you know, whatever it is that I want to do to it. But the whole process probably takes about an hour. Very, very simple. All right, here we go again. All these are decals too that I got. So I got the, whatever that sign is, those are all decals that I added in. That's not decal, that's a sync screen. I do that on all my aerators. I add that in there. So, what's up, Tutor Vlad? What's going on, man? Just doing a little weathering. This is the first step, and again, it's just an easy way to get an overall kind of dirty look to it. And, you know, then I'll come in and be a little more specific with some other stuff. Eventually you'll get the rag dirty enough that you can actually just weather it just by rubbing the rag along it. A paper towel. You always got to be careful with little runaways, because if you miss those, you know, it'll just give you a nice little paint line, a water paint line on it. You don't want those. The paint marks aren't good. Yes, this is a 3D print. So this is from Galactic Armory. This is not the most accurate Scout Trooper helmet. You know, this snout should be probably a little bit longer than what it is. But again, I just felt like it was something, an easy project that I wanted to do. Elvis, the Brodalorian, kind of made fun of me for spending, you know, $70 and a lot of my time on a helmet that you can buy for like $100, the Black Series. And the Black Series version of this is actually really good. So it kind of made fun of it. Oh yeah, I think it looks good as well. It's just, and I say accuracy, it just wouldn't be approved like this. You'd have to get a different helmet to get it approved. But you know, not everybody wants to get a costume approved. And if I built the Scout Trooper, I don't know if it's one that I would go for approval on. I may just do it for the fun. But I don't know. I don't know. Alright, so we're about done with this black wash. We'll get into some fun of making some blaster marks maybe. Ooh, I know what I gotta do. I find my rubber buff. Add the rub and buff to this part here to give it a little more life, because right now it just looks like paint. And that's the ultimate goal of this whole process, to take what is plastic and make it look like it's a real world thing. Make it look real world. Start here. A little more up here. Yeah, this is a good start. Let's see if I can. Good stuff. So rub and buff is like it's actually a wax. A lot of people will do it after you do any kind of sealant on here. But I like to do it before that and then seal it in with a clear coat. My favorite Star Wars movie is Jedi, actually. So the one that introduced these fellas. Let me see if you guys can see. Here first. That's so I want you guys to see what happens with this rubbing buff, because this stuff is really cool. So, alright. Just want to kind of make it look like that metal is rubbing in. Just kind of rub it across the tops here. It's really effective. This gives this the appearance that it's actual metal. Just want to do all the hard edges like that. So then you see how it kind of brings that to life. And you're basically hitting the places that the paint would have rubbed off on the metal. Sorry, I'm recording up here too. I'm trying to get some video for another video that I'm doing. Rub and buff. So I'll also use rub and buff to kind of give dimension to my blaster marks. And I'll kind of show you how I do that as well. So blaster marks, what I like to do with those is just start with some acrylic black paint. Sometimes I'll start with, so here, let's do this. Sometimes I'll start with a file. Everybody needs a costume, man. Everybody needs a costume. My favorite clone, probably, I don't know, I like Jesse. I think I like Jesse the best. Rex is awesome. Cody's fucking awesome. I don't know, there's just so many distinct personalities with the clones, and that's what's so cool about them. Alright, so let's make a little blaster mark on here. So I want something that's going to be coming. I'm going to start with a file. Little light file here. So I'm going to take give it a little bit cut out there. Alright, so start with that. And then we'll get a little black paint. It's far too heavy, so wipe that off, and you see how it catches in the middle there, and it already kind of gives it a good basis point to start for that blaster. Yeah, I'm older than Star Wars, man. I'm 50 years old, so I've seen all of them. I saw all of them in the theater. I don't really have a memory of the first one, but when they re-released it a couple years later, right before Empire, they re-released it. And that's when they first put the Part 4 and A New Hope on there. And I absolutely remember that. It's, you know, one of my fondest memories. But yeah, I'm a child of Star Wars. So kind of start with that there. Then we got to do a little bit of a dry brush around the edges. And to dry brush, I like to take the acrylic and then dab it off in a paper towel. You want to get, you know, the majority of it off. And then I'm coming through here and giving it just more blaster kind of dimensions here. Gives it, you see that kind of burn. What's up, Relax Moon? Oh, J-Tur, what's going on? I didn't even see you, man. Didn't even see you. I was talking to you and I didn't even know I was talking to you. So then I'll come back in the center of it and just put a really light little dab of rub and buff to make it look like it's kind of come through to the metal of the helmet. Right down the center. And too much, just wipe it off. Alright, that's how I do my blaster marks. That's how we get them done. Alright, so let's do a little bit of shading in here. We'll do it in some of the back of the helmet areas. So in these, I want to kind of make it a little bit of a different dimension there, different color. Make it look like the dirt got caught up in there some more. So. And again, this is just dry brushing acrylic black paint. Come back through also with some browns to give it a little bit more. Also do it in the seam here. You know, these are places where dirt and grime would have collected. What's up, CB? What's going on, man? So the armor for the body, that's all, like for this, I don't know for a Scout Trooper. I've never messed with a Scout Trooper. It's just several separate pieces. For my clone troopers, those are ABS vacuum formed plastic kits that I get from a company called 850 Armor Works. They're actually kind of local to me. They're out of Pensacola, Florida. And it's just like a model kit that you put together. You shape it to your body and build it that way. Build it that way. It's really not too difficult. It's time consuming, and the kits are kind of expensive, but the whole process is not extremely difficult. I kind of learned how to do it while I was doing it. And this weathering process is a lot of this, where you do something, you kind of take it back, you do it again, you take it back. The damage collects and on there, and it ends up eventually looking right. A little glare on these. Take that down some. Back's looking pretty good. I do want to get some browns in here as well. So same thing. As much of this off of here as I can, but I don't mind that black in there. And then I'm going to get some raw sienna and some burnt sienna and mix those up to make a little bit of a burnt raw sienna. A little bit of black mixed in as well. And this is just from a dirt, Wait, let me get a little bit more of this first before I do that. feel like around this eyepiece it would gather some dust and some dirt and some grime. So having that in there. Just kind of adding some places where, you know, maybe he took a shot against a tree or something, but giving it an abrasive little look there. This guy's been on indoor for a while. And the other thing I want to do is I'm going to add some, you know, I want to make these seem like these were real. And add some grime coming down from what this is, which is the piece that kind of scoops up and down. Same thing over here. Oh, awesome, dude. Enjoy. Yeah, I'm going in May. Into May, we're going back. It's my daughter graduates high school this year, so it will be her big high school graduation trip with some of her friends. The last one, you know, before she goes to college with us as a family, so it should be a blast. I fucking love Disney. I really do. I really do. Yes, thank you. Yeah, she's 18 now, so she's no longer my responsibility. She's on her own. My work here is done. All right, so time for a little dirt. And I like to be kind of sparing with the dirt. You can go over top with this really easy, and I like to kind of be sparing with it. Same kind of thing applies. You just really want to do those areas where the dirt probably would have hit in there, stuck in there. Just adding a little color to it. I'm just putting like a little happy little cloud here. Very Bob Ross. Very Bob Ross. Yes, she's on her own. She's a little Sith, man. Who am I kidding? She's got some tendencies. And I'm kidding. She's a good girl. She's a good girl. I'm actually going to do a video with her coming up where I've seen other people do this, but I'll show her pictures of Star Wars people and have her try to guess their name. Should be fun. Should be fun. Now that she's 18, I'm ready to share her with you. She's not underage anymore. So yeah, it's a lot of put on, take off, put on, take off, and then a little bit gets left on, and that kind of seems more natural to me, at least. Favorite Jedi, favorite Sith. I love Qui-Gon, Jedi-wise. I just really dig his kind of feeling and just what he's about. So he'd be my favorite Jedi. Favorite Sith has got to be Vader, or Maul. Maul, you know, with the additions that they did to him, and with the Clone Wars and Rebels, you know, really fleshing out his character. I love them all. But my favorite character in all of Star Wars will always be R2-D2. R2-D2 is the OG. R2-D2 is, you know, I mean, shit, dude, he's your ride or die, man. That guy knew everything. Everything. His memory was never erased. And he didn't tell anything. You know, he didn't tell anybody anything. He knew about Padme and Anakin, didn't tell. He knew Anakin was Darth Vader, didn't tell Luke. You know, R2 is the baddest of the bad. And I've read this once. This is a really cool kind of theory story. But so in the original trilogy, you know, Luke's always telling R2 to stay in the ship, stay in the ship, stay in the ship. And he never does. And somebody postulated that the reason why is because he stayed in the ship when Anakin told him to at Mustafar. And Anakin never came back. So that's why when Luke always tells him to stay in the ship, he never stays in the ship. He's, you know, he's a little crazy. He's a little crazy. And it was hard, you know, I really liked Chopper for a while there too. It's kind of hard not to like Chopper. But ultimately R2 is he's the OG, man. He's my favorite Star Wars character of all time. Alright, so now this is getting good and dirty. I'm probably very happy with the dirtiness. I do want... I got a paint drip here that I'm trying to disguise. And again, if this was something I was doing for somebody else, I would have sanded this down and repainted it. But I was at the end of my paint can, and I didn't want to run up to the store and buy another one, so I left that drip there and just kind of sanded it down. But I can, again, cover that up with some creative shading. Oh yeah, because the fate of the galaxy was basically, you know, in that if Qui-Gon had won that fight, or not died in that fight, then he could have been the master that Anakin really needed, and Anakin would have had a father figure rather than a brother figure in Obi-Wan. And that's what I understand is why it's called Duel of the Fates. But I may be wrong. If it's a different thing, man, type me up a little explanation there. But that's kind of how I'd always heard it. It's so cool, so cool. And I love how Williams' all of his scores, you know, played into other scores like that. You know, the theme in Naboo, the happy theme of Naboo, the Emperor's theme is hidden inside of that. How in Anakin's, young Anakin's theme, it's Vader's March is like kind of underneath there too. So it's what John Williams did with some of that music is just incredible, incredible. I feel like I need another blaster mark somewhere around here, so let's do something on the top. Again, start with the mark. And then it with some black. Wipe that up. And you can see how it just sticks in that area that I cut there. And it just, that looks good. I don't need the black around it to give it the blast kind of effect. There's that. And then the final piece is just a little bit. A little bit of rub and buff, silver rub and buff. Same thing, wipe it in, wipe it off. And there we go, blaster mark. All right, y'all, that is kind of how I do it. So let's put this little thing together. Next step, I'll take it outside and throw some clear coat on it. But first, again, I'm gonna sit on this for a little bit, come back to it and take a look and see if it's exactly what I still want. But let me put it together and let you guys kind of see what we've got here. Alright, so I've got my that slides right into a channel that's in the back here. See that channel? That slides right in there. And then this just literally just pops on top. And there you have it. She's a dirty girl, but that's how I like them. That is how I like them. And that slides up like so. So ultimately, ideally, then this is what kind of makes this one not as accurate as you need it to be. This should be a little bit longer. I mean, this should really come down to about here, the front part of it. When it goes up, there should be a lock in place for it. When it's down like this, you shouldn't be able to see a gap there. You see how you can see a gap? This bottom part here should be just a little bit longer. And you know, I can make it longer with EVA foam, I guess, but I don't want to mess with that, so yeah. But yeah, this to me is what you want in a helmet. See? It works. So yeah, another fun project. I'm gonna have a full video of how I did everything that I did on this, you know, like I always do. I'll have to pop that up there, but yeah, more exciting things coming for the channel, y'all. I've got a new lightsaber partnership that I'll be kind of doing some stuff on here. Thank you, dude. Thank you. Like it. So got a new lightsaber partner and a new lightsaber review coming. It's a lightsaber that I've never messed with before. And this one's really unique in kind of the offering and what they've given me. So just teasing it right now that they gave me a saber, and you know what I do when people give me a saber. I like to turn around and give you a saber. So that's coming down the line as well. So look for this. Look for some information on my Cody submission, probably, lightsaber review, lightsaber giveaway, and a whole lot of fun. So hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm glad that you guys joined me today. This was a fun little weathering project. We're doing a Scout Trooper helmet. I'm gonna go spray some clear coat on this, and you know, this is what I do. So thank y'all. As always, I am Darth Rage. This is Darth Rage Reviews, your source for the Force.